Have you been hearing about agents and agentic AI and how they're going to replace all the jobs in the world and automate everything and maybe even remember to water your plants? Well, me too. So let's break this down to what an agent is, what is an agentic AI, and why do people keep throwing these terms around interchangeably. Welcome to AI Club Pro, where we make AI concepts feel like everyday ideas. In this video, we are going to talk about what agents are, what is agentic AI, and what's the difference between them. So let's go with an old school definition of what an agent is. An agent is anything that can sense, make a decision, and act. And that's it. They don't need GPT level brain to do this. They just need to do their thing in whichever way they can. So here are some very simple examples of what an agent is. The thermostat in your home, that's an agent. It senses the temperature and then it makes a decision on whether it needs to increase the cooling or not. So it's sensing, it's making a decision, and then it's acting on it. Doesn't use an LLM yet. Your Roomba vacuum, which senses obstacles and hits them for the 100th time and goes around, is also an agent where it has a sensor to see where it is and that helps it to decide where it needs to go next. Even video game characters that have very basic rule-based logic to sense their surroundings and make decisions are essentially agents. Agents are not new. They have been around way before AI became trendy. Even the chatbot that painfully responded with "I don't understand" in the early 2000s, that's also an agent. So essentially, agents are just systems that map inputs into actions. And sometimes they have logic in between that helps them decide which action to take. So that's an agent. Now enter large language models that basically upgraded these agents to be able to intelligently make a decision on what action to take. So what happens when you take a plain old agent like your thermostat and give it an upgrade using a large language model? So now your thermostat senses the temperature, but now it has this ability to pull information from the internet, let's say, and understand language and give you more information. Like, your temperature is set to 71 degrees. However, according to the data, this time of the day, the cost for using more power is 2x the usual cost. So what I suggest is that you keep your temperature at 68 instead for the next 2 hours, and then you can change it to 71, and that's the most optimum path for you for saving money. That is an upgraded agent, which just doesn't control the temperature, but it gives you options while trying to optimize for you and help you save money. So here is another example. Let's say there is a travel booking bot where you can enter your dates and it gives you the details of all the flights that are available. Now let's upgrade this agent with a large language model. You could type in something like, "I want to go to a place that's warmer in the month of February and I want to go scuba diving." So you give it something vague like that. A large language model will be able to figure out what are all the places that satisfy the constraints you have, and it will give you travel options to go to these places. So that is an agent which is upgraded using a large language model. So it's able to take better decisions because now it has the power to understand language. So what we have described so far is still an agent, where it is sensing the input and it's able to make a decision either as plain old rules or using a large language model much more intelligently, and then it takes an action based on that. It's still not quite agentic. So, what is agentic AI? Agentic AI is something that shows agency. An agentic AI system does not just respond, it can do a lot more. It can have multi step reasoning built into it, where it first creates a plan on how it can solve the problem in hand. It can create smaller steps and execute them one by one. It can access different tools and APIs, even databases. It can execute code, so it has tool integration. It is able to maintain memory across different sessions, so it remembers, and it is able to reflect and react to what it has provided as a response. So, an agentic AI is a whole new league. It's like going from your Roomba to Jarvis from Iron Man. Roomba will just clean your home, while Jarvis can run your entire life. It can even give you stock tips and stuff like that. So, what agentic AI can do is create a fairly complex web or infrastructure where it is able to do much more complex tasks because it has agency and it has access to different tools and it has memory where it knows how it interacted before, what the preferences are. It's able to reflect and self-correct. So all of this make agentic AI very powerful, and you could design some very sophisticated agents that almost feel like magic. So here is an example of a customer support bot that received the agentic AI upgrade. So the old customer bot would just be like, oh, press 1, press 2, if you have this problem, then press 3. That's how the customer bot usually works, right? But if it got an agentic AI upgrade, you could just say things in natural language like, I'm so upset. Why is my internet down? Like you could just type in your rant and the bot would have the ability to go look you up in the CRM, run a network diagnostic for you, email a technician to come take a look if needed, and also issue you a refund without you having to press a number of buttons. So it could do a lot more things. It could execute an entire pipeline depending on what your problem is. That would be super cool, right? Where you could just call a customer care line or talk to a customer care bot where you give it information and you don't have to all keep reminding it or keep doing a follow up on top of it. That would really make life much more comfortable. So, similarly, there are other examples like you could have a finance bot who is a stock trading assistant. So, the old agent is based on rules like if a stock goes below $100, then you receive an email, right? But if you upgrade it with an LLM, then you could just ask it, why did Tesla drop today? And you would get a very fluent explanation. It will actively monitor the markets, it would pull real time news, it would simulate scenarios, and then essentially it would revise the strategy based on the mistakes it has made. Basically, it becomes your autonomous hedge fund intern. Similarly, if you think about a calendar assistant, previously you'll need to go and set up the meeting for, let's say, 3 p.m. with someone. Now, if you just say, oh, I would like to meet this person sometime next week in the afternoon, and this agentic AI has the ability to understand what your typical preferred time is, what the other person's preferred time is, and it will suggest a few time slots that it believes work for the both of you. So, to summarize, here are the key differences. An agent with an LLM is essentially reactive. It has smarter responses, but it's still just mapping the input to output. While agentic AI is proactive, it's autonomous, it can use tools, it has the capacity to save memory across different chat sessions, and it's capable of reasoning over multiple steps. So let's talk about why this matters. Why should we care about this distinction between agent and an agentic AI? So the thing is, when people are talking about AI or AI agents replacing jobs, they're essentially talking about agentic AI and how it's autonomous enough that it can almost sound like a human, do a lot of the jobs that humans do manually, because a fair amount of intelligence and pipeline infrastructure has been added to it. So instead of thinking about it as it is stealing jobs, like for example, if a thermostat receives an upgrade, it's not really stealing anyone's job. Or if there is an agentic AI that's helping a customer support agent who is a human, it's probably saving them a few minutes and saving the customer the headache of waiting in line to get their issue fixed as well. But when you talk about an agentic AI, that's the one that can be much more smarter, and it's going to keep getting smarter and smarter as people figure out what good infrastructures are, what a good graph is between different nodes, where each node can be thought of as an agent so that it can do more intelligent tasks. So that's the one to watch out for. The last thing that we should talk about is guardrails. So, agents can't really do much harm. They sense, they react, and they take certain actions which can be designed by you. Agentic AI, on the other hand, which has access to all these APIs and tools, etc., can actually do harm if not designed well. And if someone is able to hack into it, it's much more problematic compared to a simple agent. However, risks and guardrails is a topic in itself, which we will reserve for another video. So that's a wrap. If you like this breakdown, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Stay curious and keep exploring.